10 years from now, young football fans are going to look up the all-time leaders. They'll pull up Football Reference, and a couple names will jump off the screen. If a player is in the top 30 of categories like total yards, touchdowns, and receptions, you can almost guarantee he's a Hall of Famer. Towards the end of the top 30, kids will see Calvin Johnson, undoubtedly one of the best to ever do it. He's amongst guys who played for 15 seasons despite playing just 9 and retiring at 30 years old. The second name that jumps off that screen is Antonio Brown. AB and Calvin dominated the same era and both left the game at 30 years old. For how oddly similar the two most prolific receivers of the 2010s were, their stories couldn't be more different. Let's stack them up. AB had 2 fewer seasons with 10 plus starts. To be more precise, he started 110 games to Calvin's 130. Now, despite trailing in volume, AB tallied more first-team All-Pro and Pro Bowl selections. He also ranks higher or equal in all 3 major receiving categories. Surely, if you didn't grow up watching these careers play out and someone told you Calvin Johnson was a first-ballot Hall of Famer, you would be baffled to learn that Antonio Brown will never even begin to sniff the halls of Canton. Instead of being immortalized alongside his legendary peers, AB's personal and professional life slowly and steadily spiraled into a dark place. These 15 incidents are why he'll never wear a gold jacket. Antonio Brown has always had a toxic relationship with money. When the Steelers offered him $42 million in 2012, the floodgates opened. AB was no longer the humble 6th rounder. To his credit, he was still the hardest worker on the team, but he never truly understood what a team was. No one saw the writing on the wall quite like his former teammate Ryan Clark.
And he's walking past, and I turn to the strength coach and I say, when you give him money, you're going to create a monster. That day in practice, Antonio and I almost get into a fight because he's saying things to Coach LeBeau. He's screaming at Coach LeBeau, screaming at us defensively, don't touch me, I'm the franchise, this and that, because he already had that mindset. And now with success, with money, these things come. And you hear more about him, some things that we don't need to bring up now, but when it comes to just being a good teammate, when it comes to just being supportive, to understanding that you're trying to achieve one goal, that doesn't matter to him. What matters to him is 19 attempts, 14 catches, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Saints. That's what's important to Antonio Brown.
In week 2 of the very next season after getting paid, articles like this one from Bleacher Report began popping up. Are the Steelers regretting paying Antonio Brown? They quote longtime Pittsburgh reporter Ed Bouchette, who wrote, Brown erupted on Haley on the sidelines, upset about how few first-half receiving targets he saw. For 99% of the players in the NFL, antics like this wouldn't be tolerated. AB developed a priority list that read, 1. Get stats, 2. Get money, 3. Win as a team. What Bleacher didn't realize before writing that headline was AB was about to embark on the greatest 6-year stretch from any receiver in league history. There were incidents during this stretch, but most were kept quiet. It was mostly in-house stuff like frequently showing up late to meetings, refusing to watch film, and bad-mouthing coaches. The public incidents didn't start piling up until the 2017 playoffs. The Steelers advanced to the AFC Championship after kicking 6 field goals to beat the Chiefs. AB was all smiles because he got his stats. 6 receptions for 108 yards. In fact, he was so happy he hopped on Facebook Live to broadcast the Steelers locker room.
Let's get ready to ball up this up again here in a few days and be right back at it. Let's go. Hey man, that's our story.
25K, another shit running.
25. Keep it tight. Yeah. Keep it tight. Cool on social media, man. This is about us, nobody else, man.
Everybody know about social media. That shit.
Sports Illustrated nailed it the following morning with the headline, Antonio Brown shows off self-obsession in foolish Facebook Live. I didn't show it in the video, but you can hear Mike Tomlin call the Patriots assholes, and at one point AB shows a naked teammate. Not long after, AB's struggles spilled over to his personal life.
4 big problems for Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Antonio Brown. This time he is accused of going on a violent, furniture-smashing rampage at his apartment in Florida, nearly killing a 22-month-old toddler. Now, it's all in a lawsuit that was filed by the toddler's father. He claimed that the kid and his grandfather were walking by the pool back in April when all of a sudden a vase came flying down from the 14th floor, smashed on the ground. Another vase, an ottoman, other large pieces of furniture, and when they looked up, they saw it was coming from Antonio Brown's room.
Clearly, he must have felt invincible. His furniture was raining from the building. It's an obvious crime and a threat to everyone in the area, but he didn't care. Of course, police quickly singled him out and 2 lawsuits followed. Clearly, there was a lack of empathy for people, and it was missing again later that same year when he went to the doctor.
My bad, dog.
You get that when you're so in there. It's pretty freaking low. Those bodybuilders, this is pretty freaking low. I gotta stay away.
My bad.
Obviously, ripping farts on or around your doctor's face is inappropriate, but you wouldn't know it by either of their expressions. The doctor, who was checking AB's body fat in the clip, seemed content, but later changed his tune. Shockingly, it wasn't because AB was ripping farts, but because AB refused to pay over $11,000 in medical bills. The doctor sued, and AB returned his lack of focus and self-obsession to the Steelers. If there was one guy who had AB's back from day one, it was Ben Roethlisberger. Ben is actually the reason AB became a starter in the NFL. He was so confident in AB's ability to upgrade from a returner to a starting receiver that he took it upon himself to meet with the coaching staff and opine for AB to join the first team. Ben made the right call. The duo became one of the most lethal the league had ever seen, but AB seemingly blocked this from his memory. It was the second to last week of the season, and the Steelers needed to win out to make the playoffs. AB was having a massive game in New Orleans as Pittsburgh was marching down the field to win the game in the final drive. The playoffs seemed well within reach until a tragic fumble from Juju Smith-Schuster ended all playoff hopes. Now, usually AB would be all smiles. It didn't matter that he lost, he got his stats. A massive 14 catches for 185 yards and 2 TDs. This was different. Despite the fumble, Juju was voted as the team's MVP. It's a prestigious honor that AB had won 4 times and fully expected to win again after leading the league in touchdowns. I admit it was strange that Juju won team MVP, but a huge part of the award is being a good teammate, something AB clearly wasn't down with. What followed can only be described as high level of maturity.
Antonio Brown ran a route in practice. Ben Roethlisberger told him to run the route again. He didn't like that. I think he felt like he was getting shown up. So he left the practice field. Ben went to speak to him after, but Antonio Brown left the facility that time. A number of Steelers, employees, players, even the team owner himself, Art Rooney, reached out to Antonio Brown, and he did not return any of their texts or messages. He did not show up on Saturday. He showed up on Sunday thinking that he would be healthy enough to play in the game and was promptly deactivated.
2018 was a tumultuous year, but nobody thought AB's days in Pittsburgh were coming to an end. He was still under contract for 2 more seasons, but requested a trade almost immediately after the season ended. He took to Twitter to write, "Thank you Steeler Nation for a big 9 years, time to move on and forward, #new demands." The post came with the highlight mix set to Lil Uzi's Do What I Want. Doing what he wanted had been AB's MO for years. Even after the trade request, Ben had his back. He went on 93.7 The Fan to say the following.
People are making a big deal about a walkthrough on Wednesday, that there was a blow-up, a fight between he and I. I don't know anything about that. If there was a blow-up or something, I sure as heck didn't see it. This big deal was made about that, and I'm not really sure where that comes from. Then, this story just keeps growing. So, like I said, I consider him to be one of my closest friends on the team.
Despite Ben's attempts to help his friend and prevent AB from leaving Pittsburgh, he was dealt to the Raiders a month later. It looked like an opportunity for a fresh start. Oakland handed him a gigantic new contract, but there was no new AB.
Oh, Raider Nation, I'm here in Napa. It's time to get to work, baby. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Let's get to work.
There would be no work to get to. The Raiders were being featured on Hard Knocks, but AB was sidelined after freezing his feet in a cryotherapy disaster. We later learned he neglected to wear proper footwear, which resulted in extreme frostbite. Training camp had just started, but AB was dead set on staying in the news cycle. If there was no controversy, he'd create one. Take his helmet, for example. When his feet finally healed, he took exception to the NFL's rule that he could no longer use an outdated piece of equipment. His former teammate James Harrison chimed in on FS1.
With Antonio Brown?
Right now, I think it's time for him to give it up. I love AB, but right now, everything is looking real selfish, real me. And you're, what Coach Tomlin used to say, you're throwing rocks at a tank right now.
AB filed a grievance against the league, but of course, seeing as he had over 30 helmets to choose from, he didn't get his way. A large portion of the Raiders staff and roster were trying to protect the guy they just traded for, but Raiders GM Mike Mayock had enough.
From our perspective, it's time for him to be all in or all out, okay? So we're hoping he's back soon. We got 89 guys busting their tails. We are really excited about where this franchise is going, and we hope AB is going to be a big part of it starting week 1 against Denver.
Any threats Mayock made in that video only threw gas in the fire. AB's next move was to upload a photo of his fine for missing an unexcused practice with the caption, "When your own team want to hate, but there's no stopping me now. Devil is a lie. Everyone got to pay this year, so we clear. at the Raiders. When AB finally did show up to practice, he threatened to punch Mayock in the face and called him a cracker. It's believable, considering he has a daily series on his X account titled Cracker of the Day. The Raiders released AB before he took a single snap in the regular season. Getting cut from a team is usually a sad moment, but AB celebrated with the following clip posted to his own YouTube channel.
Look up Adam Schefter.
The Raiders.
Free!
Bro,
Grandma, they freed me! They freed me, Grandma! Oh, God, it's the greatest.
The Patriots made the desperate move to sign AB after Tom Brady personally vouched for him, but not even 4 days later, he was tied up in a sexual harassment case.
We're also following breaking news involving New England Patriots wide receiver Antonio Brown.
He's being accused of sexual assault. Brown is scheduled to play against the Dolphins this Sunday.
According to the lawsuit, AB assaulted Brittany Taylor, his former trainer whom he met in college. The lawsuit cited 3 separate incidents. AB and his legal team denied all allegations, but they were dark. Taylor claimed that not only did AB assault her, but he texted her afterwards to brag about it. The texts, which I'll highlight but won't read, are ugly. They're extremely vulgar and hard to make sense of. AB somehow managed to play a single game and score a touchdown with the Patriots, but New England cut ties shortly after. The league leader in TDs just a year prior had suddenly run through 3 teams in less than 8 months. He was jobless, and with nothing but time on his hands, he turned up the heat. He took to Twitter to announce his retirement and a lawsuit against the NFL. Will not be playing in the NFL anymore. These owners can cancel deals, do whatever they want at any time. We will see if the NFLPA holds them accountable. Sad they can just void guarantees anytime. Going on $40 million, 2 months, we will see if they pay up. The NFL had opened up an investigation, but AB was still so talented that the Saints offered him a tryout. Instead of laying low and going about his business, AB brought an entourage and a camera crew to the facility. The Saints were confused, but a couple days later they learned why. AB dropped a music video titled Home from the NO. I can't play the song, but the chorus starts with, I just got home from the NO, Sean Payton talking about the dildo. Not long after in the chorus, he talks about loading his clock with hollow bullets. After the Saints inevitably chose not to sign him, AB moved on to calling the NFL racist. Here's a couple tweets from the end of 2019. Guess almighty NFL can hold players out against their will, no criminal charges pending, nothing. But a Caucasian player gets a domestic, go to jail, still out there playing, targeted hate against us everywhere, my peeps. That was the fam, not the racist NFL. The tweets made no sense. If anything, the NFL had been too easy on AB, but at least nothing turned violent. That changed in 2020. Local police arrived at AB's home for 2 domestic disputes in the past 2 months. When they arrived for a 3rd time, AB filmed it. For context, the mother of AB's kids was only there to pick up the kids and take them to school. AB accused her of stealing his car.
Was here, and this bitch here fucking here from the hotel. She don't have none. She came in to take the kids to school. The kids not getting to school. She don't have no car. This bitch is a baster. She have 2 other kids. She stay at a hotel. Look at her. She's a fucking lost cause. Look at her. These niggas gotta make calls for niggas to get justice. The police can't even know what to do. They gotta call, you feel me, call other niggas. We gotta go to jail. This is what we gotta do. This is white versus black right here in your fucking face, right here.
Less than a month later, more dangerous allegations arose when a dispute between AB and the operator of a moving truck turned violent.
Tonight, a big payday for a South Florida truck driver who was attacked by NFL player Antonio Brown.
A judge has ordered Brown to pay more than $1 million for past and future damages, including upcoming surgeries.
CBS Pittsburgh ran the headline, Antonio Brown threw rock at moving truck after refusing to hand over $4,000 payment. The report claimed the victim was battered by Brown and his trainer. It goes on to claim Brown forced his way into the truck and began assaulting him. When the police arrived, Brown went into his house and closed the door. The NFL finally suspended AB in 2020. Once again, he announced his retirement, but walked it back after Tampa Bay signed him to a 1-year deal. It's hard to say it was a poor choice considering he helped them win the Super Bowl, but all good things couldn't last. In December of the following year, they got their first true taste of the AB experience.
We have some breaking news here on NFL Network. You're watching TNF First Look. When last we were together on this show, news was breaking in Tampa of a story about Antonio Brown, the Buccaneers wide receiver, who's injured, not playing right now, possibly using a fake vaccination card.
Now, that was December as the Bucs were trying to secure home field advantage. It was strange, but nothing compared to what AB had in store for Week 17 versus Jets.
Antonio Brown. That's Antonio Brown without his uniform, we are told, without his jersey, and running onto the field. I don't know if that could have been a penalty.
AB's transformation from the top of the league to meme was complete. This was the last moment we ever saw one of the greatest receivers of all time on an NFL field. Perhaps the saddest part is I can easily make this list longer if we count his post-NFL incidents. In October of 2022, he posted a video exposing himself in front of a woman in a pool. Later that same month, he turned on Tom Brady. AB seemed thrilled to post memes bashing the QB that won him a Super Bowl. He even repeatedly hinted that he slept with his wife. In 2023, the Arena Football League was dumb enough to let him own and operate a team. AB bankrupted the organization and refused to pay his employees. The rest of 2023 was completely out of control. He refused a police request to exit his home, which triggered a standoff, refused to pay child support, started CT-ESPN, and of course, filed for bankruptcy in 2024. All things considered, it's hard to believe AB has avoided more serious consequences. Not only has he avoided jail time, he's still extremely popular and relevant in social media. Although his story is far from finished, it's hard to imagine being confident predicting anything AB related. I know a couple things are true though. Wasted talent is still sad, and the NFL wants absolutely nothing to do with him, and you can't blame them. I'll be surprised if he so much as receives votes to Canton. You'd be hard pressed to find someone who threw more talent down the drain than Antonio Brown.